This is Trisha Barker, and she dies in a car accident, but then she discovers life after death. We're going to explore her own account of this experience, a journey that radically shifted her understanding of life, consciousness, and the power of love. Trisha was a driven college student with dreams of law school, and she found herself in a, life-altering situation one seemingly ordinary morning. She was on her way to a 10K race in Austin, Texas, but she was running late, sleep-deprived, and had made the unusual decision to skip her morning coffee. As she drove, she ran a yellow light, then a red light, and collided with another car at 60 miles per hour. The impact was devastating. Pinned in her car, she became acutely aware of the severity of her injuries. All she could utter was, "God help me," a prayer born out of a sudden and terrifying loss of control. At the hospital, things took a turn for the worse. Trisha was informed that because she didn't have health insurance, one neurosurgeon refused to operate. This bureaucratic nightmare added another layer of stress to an already dire situation. Desperate to walk again, Trisha pleaded with another surgeon. Her words were raw and desperate. "I'm going to kill myself if I can't walk, so I need you to operate on me." Whew! The surgeon, moved by Trisha's plea, agreed to operate, but only after taking a break. She'd been on duty for 40 hours and needed rest before tackling such a complex case. Trisha was left alone with her anxieties as she waited. Finally, she was wheeled into surgery and informed that she had a 177% chance of death. It seemed statistically impossible, a number that defied logic. Yet this was the reality Trisha was facing. In the face of such daunting odds, her last conscious thought was surprisingly pragmatic. Well, that's kind of a high chance, but I'll go with it because I want to walk. The surgeon squeezed Trisha's hand, and then everything changed. Trisha found herself outside of her body, floating in the corner of the operating room. She could see the surgeons working intently, could even recognize the Elvis song playing on the radio. She had an expansive awareness, a 360-degree vision that allowed her to observe everything happening around her. But instead of fear, she felt a wave of joy wash over her. There was a profound sense of peace and relief in the realization that her consciousness continued, even as her body lay on the operating table. This is where Trisha's story takes a truly mystical turn. She describes seeing cowering beings of light standing behind the surgeons, channeling healing energy into her spine. These beings, whom she later refers to as angels, communicated telepathically, assuring her that she would walk again, even run. They spoke with a playful confidence, saying, "Watch this," before sending a surge of light energy through the surgeons and into her spine. It was a moment of profound healing, a merging of the spiritual and the physical. But then the monitor flatlined. Trisha watched from above as her stepfather bought a candy bar from the vending machine, a detail she found amusingly out of character for the health-conscious man. Even in death, her sense of humor remained, finding irony in the mundane. Floating above the city of Austin, then amidst a breathtaking expanse of pink stars, Trisha felt an overwhelming sense of freedom. No longer bound by her physical body, she felt connected to a greater consciousness, a source of unconditional love and support. During this cosmic journey, crystallized messages were implanted within her. Love is all that matters. Be like a little child. Remind them to go to nature. These simple yet profound truths resonated deeply within her, shaping the course of her life forever. Her journey continued, and she was shown key moments from her life, both positive and negative. The good memories were bathed in light, while the negative ones seemed to melt away as if they held no real weight in this realm of pure consciousness. She saw where her judgment and pride had blinded her to the beauty in others, where she had missed opportunities for connection and kindness. It was a humbling experience, prompting her to examine her past actions and vow to do better. Trisha then found herself in a serene green landscape, a place devoid of death. It was here that she encountered her deceased grandfather, who appeared young and radiant. He recreated a cherished childhood memory, riding in the back of his pickup truck, a simple moment that held deep emotional significance. Sensing her desire to experience the divine source, he asked her a profound question. "Do you want to continue on?" Trisha was then propelled towards a brilliant light, shedding all insecurity and fear. She felt utterly loved, safe, held in a boundless embrace. It was a feeling unlike anything she had ever experienced, a homecoming to a place of pure love and acceptance. But then, an energy wall stopped her progress. She was instructed to look down, and she saw a river with people walking along it. Some were shrouded in shadows, while others radiated light. It was a powerful visual representation of the choice we all face, fear or love. And then God spoke. Trisha was given her mission, to be a teacher. It was a path she initially resisted, her earthly ambitions clashing with this divine calling. She wanted to go to law school, travel, experience the world, but the message was clear. Her purpose lay in teaching. Ultimately, she accepted. Suddenly, she was thrown back towards her body, landing back in the ICU with a sense of sadness at leaving that boundless realm of love. Her initial thoughts were, I had one of those things they call near-death experiences. Still feeling disconnected from her physical form, she struggled to answer a nurse's simple question, what's your name? It was a jarring return to the limitations of the physical world. Eager to preserve the experience, Trisha immediately started journaling. Describing the angels and her out-of-body observations, she tried to share her experience with the nurses and even her surgeon, but she was met with resistance and skepticism. The world, it seemed, was not yet ready to embrace the reality of what she had experienced. Her telepathic abilities increased, allowing her to see the insecurities and motivations of those around her. She could sense their fear, their skepticism, their unwillingness to believe. She attempted to share her story with her family. Her grandmother was receptive, but her mother was dismissive, her first question being, did you see Jesus? When Trisha answered no, she could sense her mother's disappointment. It was a heartbreaking realization. Trisha couldn't share this life-altering experience openly with everyone. The world, it seemed, was not yet ready for the truth she carried within her. So we're back, diving deeper into Trisha Barker's incredible near-death experience. Last time we left Trisha back in the ICU, grappling with the reality of what she had gone through. A journey to the very presence of God, a mission bestowed upon her. And then thrust back into her physical form. Now she faced the daunting task of integrating this profound experience into everyday life. And as you might imagine, it wasn't easy. Trisha's first instinct, to document everything. She meticulously jotted down details about the angels, their appearance, their message, desperate to hold on to these precious memories before they faded. She also felt this undeniable urge to share what she learned. She would ask nurses about their belief in God, describing God as this big ball of light, but she quickly realized that not everyone was ready to hear her story. She was met with resistance, skepticism, even fear. The medical world, so focused on the physical, seemed ill-equipped to comprehend the spiritual reality that she had encountered. Even her surgeon, when asked about how long Trisha had been clinically dead, recoiled from the topic. Trisha's newfound telepathic abilities allowed her to see into the surgeon's thoughts. Do not keep talking about this. I do not want to have to deal with this. It was a painful realization for Trisha. Here she was, overflowing with this incredible experience, and yet she couldn't fully share it with those around her. The sense of isolation deepened when she tried to share her experience with her family. While her grandmother was open and accepting, her mother's reaction was, quite different. Her mother's first question was, did you see Jesus? And when Trisha answered no, she could sense her mother's disappointment. It was clear that her mother's Christian faith didn't quite have room for the kind of expansive mystical experience that Trisha had had. Trisha desperately wanted to connect with her mother, to share the good news that they were both loved unconditionally. But her attempts were met with resistance. Her mother clung to her own beliefs, seemingly unwilling to consider another perspective. It was a heartbreaking but crucial lesson for Trisha. She learned that she couldn't force others to understand or accept her experience. She had to be selective about who she shared her story with. Thankfully, Trisha's recovery was a long one. She had 9 months in a body cast, plenty of time to process everything she'd been through. She immersed herself in spiritual literature, devouring the works of Carlos Castaneda, Marianne Williamson, Deepak Chopra, and others. It was a period of deep introspection, a chance for her to integrate her near-death experience into her understanding of the world. And while her physical recovery was arduous, she also experienced moments of profound healing and joy. She reconnected with nature, finding solace and renewed energy in the natural world. She also formed unexpected bonds. With the elderly people in her neighborhood, they became her cheerleaders, celebrating her progress as she slowly learned to walk again. These elderly neighbors were open to her story, eager to hear about her experiences in the afterlife. It was with them that she could freely share her insights, finding a sense of community, an understanding that she had been longing for. As Trisha healed physically, she also underwent a profound spiritual transformation. She described feeling overflowing with love, seeing the light in every human being. Her telepathic abilities blossomed, allowing her to perceive the thoughts and feelings of others. This heightened awareness was both fascinating and frustrating. She could see the beauty in people, but also their insecurities, their manipulations, their fears. She came to believe that nature was a powerful antidote to these negative forces. She encouraged others to spend time in nature, to reconnect with their own inner light, and to find solace in the beauty of the natural world. This deep appreciation for nature aligned perfectly with the message she'd received during her near-death experience. Remind them to go to nature. It was a message she took to heart. recognizing the transformative power of connecting with the earth. Trisha's experience also underscored the importance of aligning our actions with our soul's purpose. Remember, she initially resisted her mission to be a teacher. She had grander ambitions, law school, worldly success. But her near-death experience forced her to confront her true calling, a path that ultimately led her to a life of meaning and fulfillment. It's so easy to get caught up in chasing external validation, seeking success in careers that don't truly resonate with our deepest selves. Trisha's story reminds us that true happiness lies in aligning our lives with our soul's purpose. In embracing the unique gifts we have to offer the world is a powerful message that prompts us to ask ourselves, am I living a life that is true to my soul? Am I using my gifts to make a positive impact on the world? These are questions that can lead us to a more authentic and fulfilling life, a life that is in alignment with our highest purpose. Trisha's journey of transformation didn't end with her physical recovery. She returned to school, driven by a newfound sense of purpose. She earned her teaching certification, embracing her divinely ordained mission. And it was in the classroom that she truly blossomed. Her near-death experience gave her a unique perspective, a depth of understanding that allowed her to connect with students on a profound level. She became a beacon of light, sharing her story, inspiring her students, and helping them tap into their own potential. And she found immense joy in this work, a sense of fulfillment that surpassed any worldly ambition. Trisha's story reminds us that our experiences, even the most challenging ones, can shape us in profound ways. They can crack us open, break down our old beliefs, and lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe. And through these transformative experiences, we can discover our true purpose, our unique contribution to the world.